don't do commercials.
I know.
But, we're gonna need to take short breaks at some point, I think, because
I know if we had sponsors, we could do that, couldn't we?
we have no sponsors. Well, we have a sponsor, Gods and Monsters.
You know, we're short a chair if we get a third person, but for right now, I guess we're okay. What I'm going to do is...
You got a chair right over there. What are you using 2 chairs for?
My fan's
stuff?
clipped to that chair.
Your fan. Oh, your biggest fan.
I know, my only fan. I stopped bringing it for a while, but I knew it was going to be hot here today, and it is.
Yeah.
I got to say, according to this, our Gods and Monsters Facebook page,
Yes.
the live episode has already reached 1,200 people. That means at one time or another, somebody has seen it. And
That's
the total's
ridiculous.
up to 1,200, yes. It says 1,200 people reached. We've got a handful of comments from people. And Steven, by the way, our friend Steven has been commenting again.
I don't believe that reached means what you think it means.
I want to believe that means when they scroll by, like they're on their phone,
Yes.
and they scroll by and it auto plays or whatever.
Yeah.
That counts. That
Oh,
counts.
okay.
Okay, real quick, the
Still
video
counts.
performance at this point.
Yeah.
Live viewers, 20.
Hey, that's not bad. I mean, that's more than we had during the wrestling.
Of the 20 viewers,
Yeah.
minutes viewed total, 269 minutes.
Oh, you're saying 20 viewers right now?
It says peak live
Or-
viewers.
Oh, okay.
Unique viewers, 344. I think
that's
that means
pretty good.
people that normally don't.
No,
And
that just means unique viewers, meaning a total of 360 whatever people have watched some of this.
Okay. Video views, I'm not sure what that means, but it says 399.
Meaning that 360 individual people, but maybe a couple of those, 30 of those people watched it a couple times, or
Okay.
watched, came on, came off, went on.
But I appreciate anybody watching on Facebook Live, and then, of course, our YouTubers that will eventually see this episode starting Monday.
Yeah, we apologize. Look, this is going to be a little boring at times because we have 7 hours, 8 hours to talk here.
We'll be here till 7 p.m. probably.
So we do have people to talk to, and we welcome anybody to come down here and sit down with us for a couple minutes. Even if there's a guest here, just come
Just
see
come
me.
and sit. We got an extra chair and an extra mic at all times.
I'm on the other end of the table
Right.
with the boards here. Just come tap me on the shoulder, say you'd like to say a few things, and we'll sit you down.
I'm happy that the Facebook looks as good as it does, and I'm hoping you can tell me it sounds as good as it should.
I'll check it again.
And but I just wish I could get a better camera angle so that I could see you and everybody else that sits with us. Because it's just weird right now to be watching this. You can see the store in the background behind me, of course. And there's a lot of activity going on. You can't see it as well as you can on YouTube when the episodes go up. But there's a lot of activity here. I mean, we have a whole list of events today that's going to go on through the entire day. I would hope to
Art,
see
we
Todd
sound
Nana.
fantastic. We
Do-
sound really good.
Is that
So everything
sarcastic?
still
I don't know what you
working.
mean. right, I'm not-
Nothing's broken yet.
I'm not hearing any complaints. I'm like people saying the audio's
Yeah.
bad, like we do always.
You guys
right.
suck.
But no, we've gotten at least 37 thumbs up or hearts from people. And the comments are coming in. I appreciate that people are watching. I should hit refresh just to see Gods and Monsters.
No,
Click.
you're going to break everything.
I want to hit the refresh button. Now it says 1,537 people reached. I just like that number, so I'm just going to keep repeating it because it sounds awesome.
Okay.
But
And
currently we only have 11 people watching. But for those 11 that
Thank
are
you.
watching right now,
for everybody who stopped watching, screw you.
quickly type in where you're watching from. Where's your city? You know, are you from Orlando? Are you across the world? I know Steven is watching once again. He's going to be one of our more favorite Facebook Live viewers, I believe.
Thank you, Stephen.
And coming to the table now is Brian Downs, one of our regular contributors to the podcast. Oh, look at all my QR codes just falling everywhere.
Good morning.
I deny that completely.
Brian Downs is a regular contributor to the Gods and Monsters podcast. He also is a local author. He also has his own YouTube show. I guess you could call it a show, couldn't you?
Yes, we like to think of it as such.
You want to turn him up a little bit? Go ahead, scoot
Yeah.
your chair in a little bit more just so you get closer to the mic.
Yeah,
All right.
I was considering switching out these 2 mics, but I think we're going to be all right.
So you're at the back of the store. We're on Facebook Live right now, by the way.
I'm looking at the right camera at this point.
There we go. I'll let you
There's-
see what
yeah.
Hello,
I'll let you see what
Facebook.
America sees right now. See, we're live on Facebook.
Terrific.
Oh, see, there's a delay.
It's America Online. We are. There we go.
AOL. So you are in the back of the store today. Tell us what's going on in the back of the store. What do you have set up?
Well, we've got a table back there where 6 different Central Florida writers have got their works for sale. I promised Armand Rosamilia that I would mention him at least twice
Good.
on your
Name
webcast.
drop. Name drop.
So I will not mention him again. He gets the one time.
He gets the one because
That's all, that's all he
mouthful.
paid for?
That's how he knows I'm the boss. Yes. That guy is from Jacksonville, well-known author of the Dying Days series. We have Emily Ann Gerdner, author of The Labyrinth Wall. We have Cynthia Pratt, myself, Jenny Ashford, a writer of horror and paranormal nonfiction, an actual ghost hunter.
Did we spoke to her? I think we spoke to her, didn't we?
I imagine
On the podcast?
you did.
Yeah, didn't we?
Oh, no, she's been on your show, yeah.
Yeah, she's been here. Remember, she was one of the writers. There was a writing duo, I think, about Ghost Chasers or Ghost.
Oh, yeah. When we were set
Yes.
up in the front corner
Exactly,
up there.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I do recall.
Yeah, she co-authors with another
Yes.
paranormal investigator.
Yep.
We have Ricardo Chaveri, the author of Dragons: The Essential Ties, and its follow-up, Dragons: The Fury. So it's we're just overwhelmed with literary talent over there at the writers' table by the bar, which is, of course, where we belong, right between the bar and the coffee.
And you have did
Oh
someone
yeah, there's
bring
a
another chair?
coffee. There's a whole coffee setup back there. It's the Little House of Coffee. Wait,
Little
Shop of
Shop
Horrors.
of Horrors.
Coffee.
Coffee Shop of Horrors.
I think it's Coffee Shop of Horrors.
Okay.
I'm so bad. I was just back there. I just looked at it and thought, hey, that's clever, and then I forgot it.
They've been on our show as well, and they were here also at the grand opening, I want to say. I can't remember now.
Yeah, they were here at the grand opening event.
And I think they actually sat on the podcast with us at the movie theater at Star Wars briefly. They just came up and said hi to us because they recognized us. Woo, we got recognized.
We have brand recognition. Good.
So, Brian, tell us where we can find you online before we begin our interview and discussion.
If you search for my name, Brian, Brian Downs, Downes, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Amazon.com. I think that's about it.
And then the YouTube thing that you've been doing with Greg a lot lately. Tell us about that.
Yes, that is called Scribbler's Rest, where we have a group of Central Florida creatives who play Dungeons and Dragons or board games and so on. Armand Rosamilia was just a
You got damn it that you just mentioned him again. Ding.
Was just a guest on our recording session last night. It's great to be on the in the frontier of YouTube shows. Really, our choke point, our difficulty is our audio and recording. It's been a struggle.
It's
in the 1950s.
yeah, well,
We spilled water on things. And,
Oh, geez.
And he was asleep for most of it.
there were
but,
sparks.
You-
there was a tiger at one point. Tiger came through. It was a
he did
mess.
deal with it. I admired how he handled that tiger thing.
You are required to
We're
wear a
married
headset
now, by
as
the
well.
way.
Oh, geez.
We got married last week. Yeah.
You and I did not know.
No, the tiger.
Oh,
Me and the tiger.
I misunderstood.
Damn it, Brian.
Of course.
By the way, I just want to mention here,
Yeah.
if you Google Brian Downs, this Brian Downs is not the State Farm agency insurance agent.
It's Brian from State Farm.
You don't know me.
I don't know you, I guess, but I'm assuming that you're not a State Farm insurance agent.
No, I'm not.
So let's work on your SEO here, your search engine optimization.
I think like all modern people, I live in terror of some Brian Downs in California murdering 11 people, with an axe. And,
Oh my gosh, I actually
Yeah.
have an actual story about this. So I don't want to get too far into my personal life, but I will. So I went to a nudist resort a couple of weeks ago, and at the gate they ask you your name, they take your ID and stuff like that, and they look you up just to make sure you're not a creeper or anything. And she was like looking at it, or she was making phone calls, and I was like, what the hell?
Boy.
I was sitting there for 15 minutes.
Past is about to come and bite you in the ass. Here we go.
Apparently, there is another person named Gregory Moan from Missouri
All right.
who is not as reputable as
Oh.
this Gregory Moan
Oh, my.
you
from Florida.
Is he
And
wanted?
yet,
Is he wanted?
I don't know, but he had apparently been to this particular resort before, or one of the resort in the area, and I guess they all share information. And apparently he's a creepy guy
Oh,
or something like
boy.
that. Yeah, they were not going to let me in for a while, and then once they figured out that I had only been to Missouri once in my life, then they were like, "Okay, you're."
Were
good."
you able to clearly identify yourself when you gave them your middle name?
They had my license, so I mean, they had everything. They had all the information they needed. They just, apparently, there's a guy out there who's
Yikes.
going to nudist resorts, being very creepy.
Oh, geez.
Are you now, or have you ever been to Missouri? That's
I have, I
Oh,
have
boy.
been,
Oh, boy.
but only to visit, and I don't plan on going back.
Good
Well,
call.
Anyway, so that's just the whole like the same name of somebody out there with your name doing something terrible, and it follows you a little bit.
well, that's the way Google works, of course.
Yeah, I guess so.
One of the things you're also involved with is the Florida Geek Scene. Is that correct?
Yes, I write for the website Florida Geek Scene, where
Yes.
write about all sorts of things. We review movies, books, events in Florida. We do profiles of Florida artists who are related to geek culture in one way or another.
Are they here this afternoon? Are they have a booth or anything?
No, they're not here at this moment.
Will we be seeing any of them today? Anyone else from Florida Geek Scene?
It's not that anyone told me, but it's possible. People
Okay.
could drop by. My editor, Scott Slazer, is
I'm
often
ass-
I
seen
think
at-
I had a correspondence with him through emails. I'm not sure if he was coming or not for this event.
I'm assuming he
yeah.
likes the Gods and Monsters Facebook page, and he probably knows about they probably know about the 1 year. They might be by. And by the way, if you Google Brian Downs author, you're going to see all kinds of the real Brian Downs.
Yes.
That's what you
Yes.
need to do.
Yes, not the lesser Brian Downs.
Right.
Not the insurance agent.
The one we're
the
familiar with.
Author.
Yes, yes.
I cannot insure you.
So tell the audience anything that you're currently working on right now.
Well, right now I write for Florida Geek Scene, and also I'm working on the follow-up to my novel, The Berlin Fraternity.
Yes.
The follow-up is called Red Sleeper.
The Summer Fun Time Kids Adventure, The Berlin Fraternity. It's a story about some crazy kids that go off to join a fraternity in Berlin. And no, that's not what it's about at all.
There's Nazis. There's zombies.
No, Berlin Fraternity is vampires.
Vampires.
It's a
Oh,
story.
I apologize.
Story of a man who joins a vampire hunting organization, a secret government-backed vampire hunting organization in Berlin during the First World War when he's a very young man. And then it follows him through a few decades of his career. So the Great Depression and then the rise of the Nazis.
And is Abraham Lincoln in this at all?
And
or-
Lincoln does not feature. I don't think he's even mentioned.
Couldn't get the rights for him.
All
Which
right.
clearly is where I went wrong because that guy has a movie deal now and I don't.
Wow.
And then the other book that you had written, how do you say the name? Cure
The Carrefour Crisis.
Carrefour Crisis. That's the one that's based in an Orlando mall, I believe you had said.
No, actually, Orlando High Rise.
Orlando High Rise. Okay.
The idea there, the Carrefour Crisis is my venture into erotica, or pornography, which I prefer.
Right. But also zombies.
Well, let's call a spade a spade.
I feel that the word erotica is kind of a fig leaf. I mean, the idea is that you're trying to create sexual excitement in your audience. in
It's
both
sort
cases.
of like when somebody says, I want to do a classy and tasteful nude shoot. Neither of those things are going to be happening at your tasteful and classy nude shoot.
No, I've seen classy and tasteful, but it's still.
I have too, but not when somebody says, I want to do a classy
yes.
and tasteful nude shoot.
No, that I think is wisdom.
Yeah.
No, in the Carrefour Crisis, in the summer of 2012, a zombie virus outbreak in the city of Orlando puts the city under military quarantine, and 5 survivors, 3 women and 2 men,
5. That's it.
hide out in a. Well, there are other survivors, but the book focuses on these 5.
Right.
Hide out in a downtown high-rise because if you're off street level with some locked doors between you and the chaos, that is good for your safety. And over the long period of their
And you know what? You know what makes women horny is danger.
Yes.
I've been told that. yeah.
Based on the movies I've seen.
Yep.
Which is why I skateboard without knee pads.
You rebel.
I don't skateboard at all. Actually.
Oh, well.
I just thought it'd be funny to see
That would-
knee pads.
That would explain why you still have knees.
So today I haven't had a chance to walk around the store yet. Have you had an opportunity to kind of look
People are
around?
here. It's busy.
Yeah,
During
yeah.
setup, no, it's still. I mean, it's barely afternoon, and the crowd is pretty good. And of course, I expect, the crowd to pick up in the afternoon and
Sure,
evening hours,
sure.
especially with the beer and wine license here at the Off-World Lounge.
What?
Come on out to the Artigan Marketplace. They're going to be open all day here at Gods and Monsters, and then when the mall closes, that's when the fun begins. What are you drinking,
This
Greg?
is just my primer. It's just a white monster, but I'm going to get to the base coats here in a minute. But this is just to prime the. I might have drank a few last night.
Oh, geez. Oh, that's right. You were working here last night.
I was.
Yeah, we were recording Scribbler's
Yep,
Rest.
another
Which-
whole. It seems like when you're here to record, it's like you're recording a whole series at once, and then the series gets broken up into episodes.
Well, yeah, because they play for about 4 hours, and because it's not very convenient for them to get together for an hour.
Right.
So we'll do 4 hours, and then that gets chopped up into like 7, 8, 10.
Would you consider
episodes.
those 4 hours to be like a campaign, like you start and finish something?
Well, no, that would just be one adventure session. A campaign is a series of,
Okay.
of linked adventures.
Oh, geez.
And of course, Greg is invaluable in that process.
Yes.
Sure.
yes.
I mean, this will go on for months for this one campaign, and they Brian was kind of explaining it, or maybe it was William explaining it to me, is that they didn't have their original 4 players, which are DJ and Miriam from Genki Goth Studios, which is right across the hallway there. Anyway, they had 2 guest players come in, and they were kind of explaining it to me. It's like a TV show. Like sometimes you would watch a TV show, and some of the characters were involved in that episode, and some weren't. But then others would come in the next episode. So this is sort of the same thing, and it was kind of entertaining to listen to how they brought new characters in and how they kind of wrapped up the mini campaign, so that when they do another episode or another play, what would you call? You just said it was.
Well, game session.
Game session.
Yeah.
When,
Game session.
The next game session, if DJ and Miriam come back in, then they can just pick it up and move on from there.
The William Tucker, of course, has been our game master for Pathfinder, but I have done a lot of game mastering myself. I'm a big gamer nerd, and it can be a tremendous writing challenge to do that because, of course, you're also working with players who have free will. So they might suddenly say, well, I go and I talk to the waitress or something, and then you have to...
I'm blown away
deal with
listening
that.
to William spin tales just off the cuff, just as you guys. I mean, obviously he's trying to steer you slightly into places that fit into his idea of where things are going to go. But I don't know how he comes up with this stuff so fast.
Well, there's a lot of preparation involved, and when you're an experienced game master, you can kind of start to predict how players might react.
Yeah, but he's describing furniture in these rooms. He's describing what the hearth of the
you really are
fireplace
listening. That's
looks
good.
like. I have to, because I want to make sure that we don't have any fallouts or anybody start talking like that. You can't have something like that. So
Right.
I need to be on the ones and the twos and just
Constantly,
don't-
yes. All right, so is the game set up the way it'll always be set up? Will you ever rotate and you'll be like what would be called the dungeon master? Or?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. We've been playing the game Pathfinder, which is a high fantasy sword and sorcery kind of game. We have also done sessions with a board game called Zombies, and then we're going to be playing a role-playing game called Shadowrun later this year. I'll be the game master for that. Shadowrun is set in a dystopian future. It's sort of like William Gibson and J.R.R. Tolkien had a baby who then voted for Donald Trump.
Oh,
That's basically the setting.
no.
So what kind of preparation do you have to do to become? Is the dungeon master? Would that
Game
be the
master.
correct- Game
Well,
master. What kind of
real-
preparations do you?
The first thing is you have to remain a virgin until you're at least 30. That's
Okay.
important.
Check.
Check.
Oh wait, no, I'm out. I'm out.
Well,
Kramer. That was good. I like that.
Thank you.
When you're writing an adventure, my first advice is to consider the players, because the players create individual characters, and the different characters have different strengths and weaknesses. You might have a character who specializes in social skills and solving problems by talking to people, whether that's by conning them or bluffing them or negotiating with them. So then if you're writing an adventure, you want to say, okay, Larry has this character, let me make sure to put in some encounters where they can use those skills. You think of a movie, you don't see Indiana Jones facing a problem where he has to do a lot of advanced physics really quickly,
Right.
'cause he's not a physicist, so you want to always keep your players in mind and be giving them things that they think are interesting. If there's a character who's got a lot of combat skills, in Shadowrun being a near future setting, this is typically shooting skills and hand-to-hand combat, then you want to give them some combat encounters, because that's what they were imagining when they were making that character.
But at the same time, you also want to try and give them unique situations that they are not. You generally try and surprise them.
Yes.
You looked a little surprised, Greg. What's happened?
Because he said something like he said that Indiana Jones is not a physicist, and my brain immediately went to the joke that I wanted to say, but I couldn't remember her frickin' name, so the joke is lost. Because who is Charlie Sheen's wife?
Which one?
Yeah, it's going to come to me. With the big,
The one he had the baby with?
Yes,
the one with the great big white grin.
Yeah.
She was in that Bond movie and played
who played a nuclear physicist
at the age of like 24.
Oh, right,
That's where I wanted to go.
Denise Richards.
Denise
thank
Richards,
you.
very good.
That would have been funny had I.
If you could have timing.
If
It's all about timing.
If all of my neurons were working together, but
Right.
they're not.
And for that to have come off on Facebook Live with just a voice coming in with that joke, that would have been killer right at that moment. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
that's-
wouldn't have seen you. We just would have, bam, heard that joke. But,
I'll never do radio.
yeah, that's all right. You'll know better next time.
So, yeah, game mastering is an interesting writing challenge because you are reacting to players. I played a campaign years ago, a game called Vampire, where your players play vampires who then, scheme against each other and all this. And I just finished writing the Berlin Fraternity, so I set the game in occupied Paris because I'd done all this research, so why not recycle it? And I had the idea where another vampire would come into town and be doing things that the player characters would get blamed for, because this vampire belonged to the same vampire clan,
Okay.
one of them did, but that they would never meet this other vampire. That was my original plan. It's just other people in Paris would come along and say, I'm angry at you because of something this person did that you never met. Except one of my players very quickly says, "Oh, okay, she's in my same clan. Well, then I want to meet her. I want to find her. I want to track her down." And it became clear to me pretty quickly that what my player was interested in was like a paranormal romance angle.
Okay.
That way. Incidentally, my player was a lesbian. So then I go, okay, well, obviously that's what she's pursuing here. Let me go with that plot line. And it eventually turned into a whole love triangle thing. But I could see that was what she was interested in doing. So I
And this
steered
is
in that
within
direction.
one game session that
Well,
you had
that-
to make that adjustment?
Well, that was over a couple of game sessions.
Okay. So
and
you
it
so you
turned
had an
into-
opportunity to go back and almost rewrite
Right.
a whole plan of where things were going to go.
Right, because the players didn't know what my original plan was. So
Right.
that it always gives you the chance to just change it, and they don't know the difference.
Sure.
You know?
I'm just looking at the stream of people coming in. I've got somebody here. What would you describe that as?
That's a cosplay.
Dragon Ball
That's
Z.
what I would call it.
You see it? The green head.
Oh.
I don't know what that is, but they're more than welcome here at Gods and Monsters. That's what they're all about here. You come here.
There was a big cosplay thing last night. I guess there was a meeting of
Here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There were the Jared Leto Joker was here. The
They-
Margot
Robbie.
Robbie.
I knew that name.
She was here, and also the old school.
Let us to say a cosplayer dressed as Margot Robbie's interpretation of Harley Quinn.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for that justification, or that yeah. And then the old Harley Quinn, the jumpsuit Harley Quinn was here, and there were a lot. I mean, just a whole bunch. And why do I sound all nasally and weird now?
I feel like I am the same way as well, but I think it's because I'm wearing earbuds instead of headphones. I
No,
sound
you
like-
you sound fine.
Okay,
I just,
good.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
I'm just saying. I got to say, and this is a good time to mention, Greg Moan, audio and video has been fantastic this past year. 100 episodes. He's kept us on
thank you.
He's kept us on the air. He's kept us online. He's given us good, solid audio. And now we're just taking it one step further now with this doing the Facebook Live thing, and it's all hooked up. Greg is currently off camera, which was not the plan. But when you watch this on YouTube, you'll see all of us, and you'll see the store in the background in all its glory, with all the activity going on. We got balloon animals. Did you happen to notice Iron Man all dressed up?
Yeah, Anna did that, and there's a bunch of them all through. There's a Batman over there with a party hat on. There's a like a zombie thing from
Yeah.
I don't know where, but he's got a party hat on everywhere, and everybody's in a festive mood here.
I saw
all the
Yoda
characters.
wheeled in just recently, and
Oh,
I
yeah?
swear, and Todd's gonna have to confirm this. I swear it's the Yoda that used to be at Acme, or may still be at Acme, but maybe not. But I don't know where that Yoda came from because it looked just like the one they used to have in their lobby there.
It's a stolen mascot.
Yes, it could possibly be. Not
Don't the
quite sure.
stormtroopers here have party hats, right?
Yep, they do.
Yeah.
One of them's tilted to the side. One of them's a little gangster.
he's
the other one's got
party.
it straight up in the air. Yes.
He's having a good time.
But if there's anybody, let's go to our numbers again. We got only 10 viewers currently right now. But if you're
On the internet, that's great.
on the internet, that's fantastic. Are you kidding? But let us know what city you're watching from. Of course, our friend Steven is, who has been a contributor to the podcast before, is watching. And
There's a bear walking around.
yeah. Is that the bear that has to do with the gods and? that's not
I think so.
The
I
Gods
mean,
and Monsters bear.
That's actually the actress Margot Robbie in a bear suit.
Oh, I want to talk to her.
I'd love to get
I'm
a
kidding
photo
about that,
with
but-
her.
Are you hearing it when I smack my earphones into the microphone thing?
No, I don't think
Okay,
so.
good. It's just me then.
I think you're coming through fine on my
No, I
inside.
think
track.
it's been
Perfect.
going really well.
All right.
Everything looks good still on Facebook. Looks good. Sounds good. I mean, we've got that problem figured out. I like updating the page and getting comments from people. I've been getting them all morning since we've been here from people that are actually seeing the show.
Brian, what is the reception that you're getting for Berlin Fraternity and your other books? Are you seeing a steady interest in it, or is it a situation where things right after you released the book was there a lot of interest and then it's trailed off, or is it how are things?
My interest has been fairly steady.
Good. That's
on that.
actually really good.
Yeah, which is good. Unfortunately, I'm terrible at marketing. Is my problem with
I think I'm
with the
we
way
all
I-
are.
Well, you're an author. That shouldn't be your focus. Unfortunately, you have to do that yourself. But you follow Amazon, and that's the way. By the way, let people know they can find your books on Amazon.
Yes,
And
I'm
you
on
get comments from
Amazon.com,
Amazon.
and I'm on Amazon.com. I'm on the Kindle, and I'm on the shelf right here at Gods and Monsters.
Nice.
Yes, and then you follow. Is Amazon a lot of the places where you get your information on your fans? Like comment sections and ratings.
The reviews are very valuable.
Yes.
So if you want to help a writer out, if you like the book, then please give it a good Amazon review. And if you don't like the book, of course, please don't ever mention it to anyone.
Right.
You know what's interesting about Amazon and their reviews is that, and I think this is just a people thing. People, when they don't like something, they're very passionate about how much they don't like it, and they will take the time to write a bad review.
Unfortunately, online reviews tend to skew negative that way.
They do, because the vast majority of people who like the product that they have, or like the book or the movie or whatever, they don't think to write about how good they enjoyed it, or that it met all their expectations, because it's like, well, it did what it was supposed to do. There you go, great. It's when things are a little not perfect, or somebody has expectations that are well out of line of what they purchased. I just noticed that a lot of times I do a lot of research before I buy anything. So I will never pay any attention to the 1-star ratings. It's always the 2, 3, and 4, because those are the people who actually took the time to think, oh, okay, there's something good about this. It's not just shit.
Right.
You know.
Very often when I see 1-star reviews of products, what it amounts to is the one I got was broken.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, okay, as long as they replace it for you.
Or it just wasn't 100% great, so it's 100% crap.
And
those are people that you're just never gonna please. But I would imagine for things like books and just literary works, I would think that you do get probably more realistic and more positive reviews, because if somebody's going to invest that much time in reading a novel, they might, especially if they enjoyed it, they'll take that time to write it down and to say, this was great.
I've been very fortunate in that my books are rated 5 stars on Amazon.
No kidding. Good.
So you've had a very positive Amazon experience for the most part.
Yes.
And that goes for all the books? How many books are up on Amazon?
Well, I have 2.
Okay.
2 now. And I'm working on the new one, as I say. So, that's great. If you want to help a writer out, I can't stress the Amazon review enough. And the way obviously things have changed radically in the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Where, a guy like me, I'm an independent author, and it's not too hard to get on Amazon. The money necessary to, get the cover art done and so on is, $1,000 or so, maybe, depends on your project. So if someone in Toronto, if someone in London wants the Berlin Fraternity, they can have it by the end of the week. The difficulty is in making anyone in London understand that I even exist, because that's a very crowded marketplace, and trying to stand out is difficult. But good reviews on Amazon are very important for me.
Very good. So I'm just scrolling. I'm sorry. I was just updating and trying to see. It says 26,000 people have been reached now. That means at some point today, someone has scrolled by and seen that we're live, right?
Awesome.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's go with that, because I like that number, 26,000 people.
All right.
All right. I'm sorry.
How's the show going, Art?
It's going good. It's sometimes it like freezes, and I think, oh God, we've lost the signal.
Yeah.
But then it's like, no, it always comes back. I got to say, Facebook Live has been pretty good to us, considering it's coming off of my phone, and it's been working. Perhaps that's what you guys should be doing, so you don't have to edit your thing that you record. Scribbler's Wrist.
Yeah, I think computers
Just do it on YouTube Live. Just do it on Facebook Live. There you go. No editing, Greg.
I think the product that we put together is better edited.
I admire the editing Greg does. I absolutely do.
Yeah, it's true. And you
it's
want to chop
magic.
it down into different hours of.
Yeah, and we're fine tuning where the angles of the cameras are, and I looked at a couple of the things last night, and they looked really good. So
Are you finding that the big wooden square tables are the best, or have you tried the round ones yet?
We haven't tried the round, but the square works best. Just because there's 5 people involved, I think that works the best, with the game master at the head of the table and able to guard his materials and his roles and all that stuff. Yeah, it's working out pretty well.
Well, something else maybe we could talk about. Summer movies are in full swing. Have you had a chance to see an X-Men movie yet? Or
No, I haven't. I am hopelessly behind the times on movies.
You're focused on your work, right?
Well,
Me too.
I tend to watch things on Netflix.
Yes.
Me too.
But what was the last thing I saw? I'm trying to think.
The most recent was X-Men, and before that was
Spider-Man versus Superman.
Oh, I saw Civil War.
No,
Civil War.
that's-
Thank you.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Have we talked about Civil War before on the show?
No, we really hadn't.
you hadn't
because
seen it?
No, I hadn't seen it.
But you have now seen it?
No,
Son of a.
no. Well, because I'm still behind. I haven't watched the second Avengers. I have not
then
watched
you're
Winter
way
Soldier.
behind. Oh, what?
Have you seen Episode 7?
Yes, that
wait,
you
what,
saw
what
in
is
the
that?
theater.
That's Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen episode 7, I understand they're deporting people for that.
Is that right?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Hey,
you
look,
could have been born here. They
Disney
send you
got,
to Siberia.
Disney
if you
got
haven't seen
my
episode 7.
part of the $2 billion they made, so get out of here. No, I mean, I don't go to the movie theater that much. So the few times a year that I will go, and when I say few, I really mean few, maybe 2, maybe 3 times a year.
Right.
I want to be sure that it's a movie that I really, really want to watch, and the movie I saw this year was Deadpool, and that's it. That's all I've seen.
Which is still not out on DVD or Blu-ray yet,
It is.
I believe.
It's out.
Is it?
Yeah, it's out.
Okay. So
A couple of weeks now.
I thought it was just up until a few weeks ago, still in some theaters in the dollar
I think it
theaters.
is, but they threw it out on DVD pretty quick.
Oh, I'm getting a comment from someone here.
The word on the street is the new Warcraft movie sucks.
Wow,
I've
I see the
heard
trailer
mixed
for it,
things.
and I have no interest in it.
I follow William Gibson's Twitter. William Gibson, the famous writer, neuromancer, and so on.
All right.
He has been talking on Twitter about I'm very excited to see this Warcraft movie, which surprised me.
Well, a lot of people were excited to see it,
Yeah.
but I what I'm hearing is it just sucks. And
but on the commercial they say it's terrific, right?
well, I believe that's the job of the commercial. That's the function of the commercial, is to get people interested to spend their $13.
Is the movie just a year or two too late? I feel like it should have come out when the game was really at its popularity.
No, I don't think so. I think the technology to create a believable world wasn't available then. But here's the problem: is that from what I'm hearing, is the World of Warcraft movie is kind of like a prequel to the games, which is a smart idea. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good not to just rehash things that already happened in the game. But they just said it wasn't done well. It's not written well. It's not whatever. So
When I heard there was going to be a movie, I thought that was a lot. Obviously, Warcraft has been a gigantic success as a MMORPG.
sure.
But to say, hey, do you like our virtual reality open sandbox setting where you can spend, months of your
Years
life,
of your life inside.
you know,
Yeah.
interacting with people who are other real human beings, playing
Right.
at their computers and building your own, your own kingdom? Well, then you'll really enjoy sitting in a theater for 2 hours watching people you can't control do stuff you have nothing to do with.
Right, and I think that might be why they went with the prequel
Yeah.
idea of how they got to the game. So, I mean, in that sense, that was smart, but I just had heard that they didn't do it.
Is this movie going to make its money back? Do we know?
Probably worldwide, definitely. Especially when you're talking about, once it gets into the Korean markets and stuff like that, those kids are nuts over there for World of Warcraft.
Over those
and,
games,
and,
okay.
Yeah,
So it might be an example of one of those movies that makes more money overseas.
I would think so.
Than it does in the U.S.
I would think so.
Very interesting.
And then there was the Shrek baby in the commercial where I was just like, really? That's the best you could do as a Shrek baby?
I'm seeing more and more costumed people coming in. Somebody just came in walking in on their hands.
What?
Yeah. Oh,
What
yeah.
is going on?
Lots of people. It is its own little MegaCon. Once again,
Yes.
we've said this many times before. It's its own little con here.
Mhm.
People come dressed up. Some of the kids here with the balloon animals, and then we got people in full costumes. We've always got at least 2 Harley Quinns in the store at any moment.
At least 2.
Harley
I think it's
Quinn
required.
is a very popular costume. You really see a lot of Harley Quinns.
And
wherever you
we're
go.
seeing the Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn. The movie's not even out yet, and you just
Oh,
see
yeah.
them everywhere. I was
And
at MegaCon. They
the
were
girl
everywhere.
here last night nailed it. I mean, it was absolutely perfect. She had the Daddy's Little Monster or whatever shirt and
That's what-
everything, and she looked good too. I mean, she looked really good.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was a very good one. I saw a number when I was at MegaCon recently. I saw quite a number of Harley Quinns.
Did you tell us about your experience at MegaCon? I was there two separate days, and I had a lot of fun. Tell us your experience.
I had a good time. I thought that they've expanded the square footage of the show.
Yes.
MegaCon, of course, is under new ownership and new management.
Yes, they added a 4th day too. With that new management Thursday.
Well, the 4th day is an interesting thing.
It only started at 4 p.m. on Thursday, but maybe
Right.
that's just to give the vendors that little extra day. Why not carry it
The
to
ven-
Monday when it was a holiday that day? That was Memorial Day.
That might be like a union thing. It might be hard to get
I
staff
see.
and so on for the convention center. I don't know. That's conjecture on my part. The vendors actually aren't thrilled with Thursday.
Oh, really?
Well, you see, a lot of vendors for that show are coming in from out of town, right?
Yeah.
So there's another day.
Another
there's
hotel
There's
stay.
another hotel.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
And of course, the Thursday crowd tends to be lighter. It's
Yeah.
a school night, and people have been at work on Thursday. So typically, the vendors don't make a lot of money on Thursday. but it does raise their costs.
Yeah.
So the vendors aren't crazy about this.
Interesting. I never thought of it from their point of view. I just thought of it as the fan who gets to be there an extra day. And I don't know even how many Thursday night events there were or celebrities that were there on Thursdays. I'm not familiar.
What did I do on Thursday night?
I know that Stan Lee had a meet and greet or a Q&A or something like that on Thursday night.
But you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
What?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to contribute.
No. Greg got to spend some time privately with Stan Lee. I guess you could talk about that now, right? Did we talk about that?
We talked about it.
We talked about it during the wrestling, but it was wrestling. I don't know if we had time
Oh,
to
that's
actually
true.
sit and talk
Maybe-
about it. But Greg, for a second time now, got to do a sit down with Stan Lee and actually do some Q&A with him.
No, I didn't actually get to. It wasn't so much a sit down. We were just. I was shooting some video and audio of him doing some bumper things for the comic grading company that he was there with or whatever. And as a matter of fact, they needed somebody to sit in that looked like a grader, like he was grading a comic book, and that was me. So I got to actually be in one of those bumpers.
Wow.
And we're going to toss to that clip right now. No,
We're
we can't
not
show
going
that
to
clip.
do that.
We're not going to show that clip. Though privately I have seen it, and it's hilarious.
Maybe after they release it and everything like that, maybe we can throw it up there just for funsies. But it was. Well,
Do you happen to know when that will be yet?
I don't know. I don't.
Greg, that's like being in a video with Gandalf.
I mean, yeah, people
Yeah, I guess that's a big deal.
who love Stan Lee heads would explode to know that,
Yeah.
that our very own Greg Moen got to sit now for a second time with him once
And the
in
man
California
is
and
an
once here.
absolute professional. I mean, he was very tired. He was, had been up all day signing everything in the room. There were thousands of things in this room that he had been signing. And then he went down to the Q&A, and then he came back up. It was about 9:30, 10 o'clock when he came back up, and he was exhausted. But we sat him down, and in I think it was 5 minutes, we ran through 4 or 5 bumpers that he had to do, and basically they told him what he needed to say, and he didn't just regurgitate it and say those words. He, said it in Stan Lee. He changed it around a little bit and just made it good, made it funny. And the guy's a professional.
He really nailed it from what I saw.
It's like elder abuse at MegaCon.
I guess so, but
And you never know when it's the last time we're going to see him in Orlando. That might be the last time he comes to MegaCon, and then the rumor is that he's going to do New York, the con, one last time.
The world is going to be in a very sad day when he finally passes, and he can't possibly have too many more years left. But he's still a strong guy. He doesn't need help walking around or anything like that. 93 years old.
He's sharp too, still,
He's
isn't he?
very sharp.
93.
He can 93. He can barely hear anyone. I mean, his hearing is extremely poor, but he's smart. I mean, he's still very, very bright, very quick.
He keeps active.
Yeah.
He and his wife were in the most recent Marvel movie. You know how he always makes a quick appearance in every movie? This most recent one, it was he and his wife for that quick, 3 seconds that he gets to be in a movie. So his, much younger wife was in the film with him. And did you meet her at all?
I've never met her. No.
Oh, okay. She was not with him at those times?
No.
Well, we're getting close. What our plan was, and I forgot to mention this on the page of our little group, that
Way to go, Art.
each interview was going to be set for an hour, but we were always going to try and cut the last 15 or 20 minutes off to finish the interview, just in case anything else came up. So we want to, one last time, have Brian please tell us where we can find him online.
Yeah, you can search my name, BrianDownes, on Amazon.com, on Facebook, and that's where you can find my author page. And, of course, you can buy my books on Amazon or the Kindle, and here at Gods and Monsters.
And you can actually see Brian here occasionally at Gods and Monsters. There are certain nights that you're here, of course, recording your YouTube show.
Right,
or just hanging out. Sometimes you just come.
You can also find me on Scribbler's Rest. If you search for my name on YouTube, it should come up. And on Florida Geek Scene.
All right, and that's Brian Downes, and you can actually find him here live right now in the back of the store. If you want to come by and meet him, buy one of his books, have him sign it for you, I believe he would do all those things for you.
I will do all of those things.
All right, well, thank you to Brian Downes for visiting our all-day podcast, and maybe towards the end of the evening, you may want to catch back up with us and let us know how your day went.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
To do that.
Thank you
Art.
very much.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Once again, not taking a commercial, but we're going to awkwardly let the guests take their headset off and walk away.